Inhale, hold, exhale. You didn't land on this video by coincidence. In this moment, something divine has reached out to you. A whisper, perhaps. A stirring. Because chosen one, your name has been spoken in sacred places. God has announced major days ahead for you, not in noise, not in thunder, but in the stillness where truth always lives. These words are not mine alone. They've been carried through time, through silence, through discipline and devotion, and today they've arrived, not to rush you, but to remind you that your soul already knows. It's happening. Let me take you back. Many years ago, when I first entered the monastery, I remember a moment that shaped the entire path of my life. An elder monk, gray-bearded and near silent, motioned for me to sit beside him. He said nothing for hours, just sat, breathed, listened to the wind. Finally, as the stars came out, he whispered, "Watch what God does with your waiting." And he smiled, as if he knew something I didn't. And he did. Because every soul chosen for something greater must first walk through the quiet fields of preparation. And now, I tell you this, not with empty hope, but with lived truth. If you've been feeling like everything is shifting, if you've been wondering why doors are closing, or why you're being pulled away from crowds, from noise, from the old things, it's because you are entering divine timing. The announcements have begun, and here's what they never told you. Being chosen doesn't always feel like a blessing at first. Sometimes it feels like loneliness. Sometimes like silence. Sometimes like being misunderstood or forgotten by the very people you thought would walk with you forever. But this is how God clears the room for you to finally hear your own name, spoken by the divine. You see, we often ask for signs, but signs don't always appear in flashing lights. Sometimes the sign is a closed door. Sometimes it's the loss of something you clung to for identity. Sometimes it's a dream that doesn't come true, because a greater dream is waking up within you. Let me share a story. There was once a young man who came to the monastery broken. He had lost everything: his job, his partner, his sense of purpose. He said to me, "Brother, I think God has forgotten me." I smiled gently and asked, "What if this is the season where God is remembering you most?" He looked puzzled, and I said, "Sometimes what you call a breakdown is heaven's loudest announcement that a breakthrough is near." That man sat in meditation for 21 days. He fasted, prayed, reflected, and grieved. And do you know what happened? Not a miracle in the sky, not a burning bush, but something greater. Peace returned, direction followed, and within a year he became a guiding light to others, leading a retreat, helping others find meaning. He realized something. The most important days in our lives are not when everything makes sense. It's when we realize everything no longer has to. Chosen one, the divine is not finished with you, no matter what age you are, no matter what you've lost or messed up or misunderstood. There is a heavenly preparation happening. Major days are being aligned, and though you may not see all the signs clearly yet, your soul has already begun to feel them. The restlessness you feel, it's spiritual labor. It's the soul's way of saying new life is arriving. So let me ask you this. Have you been pulled toward silence lately? Have you been tired of distractions, of surface-level conversations? Have you been waking up at strange hours with thoughts you can't explain? If so, then the announcement has already begun. The holy season is unfolding. This is not the time to shrink. This is the time to simplify, to listen, to prepare the inner house. Because when God whispers, "It's time," you don't want to be too distracted to hear it. So today I invite you, not to rush ahead, but to sink deeper into awareness, into prayer, into self-reflection. Let us now continue this journey. There's more to reveal. But first, I ask you to sit with this question. What is God trying to prepare in me? Hold that gently in your heart. Don't force an answer. Let it come like rain. Let it come like breath. Because, chosen one, major days are not coming. They are here. We are still here. And if you've stayed, then your heart has already heard something, deeper than my words. That, in itself, is a sign. You see, many people chase loud voices, the voices of success, attention, noise, validation. But you, chosen one, you are learning to listen to the sacred whisper. Because transformation doesn't come with applause. It comes in solitude. It begins in the quiet, where no one sees you change, except the divine. There's a parable I once heard, and I believe it was meant for you today. It is said that a great king once dreamed of building a temple so beautiful, so full of light and reverence, that heaven itself would rest upon it. He hired the best architects, the wealthiest stones, the strongest wood. Years passed, and the temple neared completion, but the king, now old and tired, wandered the edge of the land. There, he saw a simple monk planting a small fig tree beside a stream. The king asked, "Why? Plant this now. You may not live to see it grow." And the monk replied, "Because one day a soul will sit in its shade, and I would rather prepare the tree than wait for someone else to." The king wept, because he realized he had built something for show, but the monk had planted something for generations. Chosen one, the announcement on your life is not about the noise you make. It's about the roots you plant in silence. It's about the impact that lives long after you, and these major days ahead. They're not just about blessings to receive, but blessings to become. So I ask you again, what are you planting in this season? Are you cultivating peace or only chasing outcomes? Are you pouring into your soul or just performing for others? To see, because God does not announce timelines for performance. God whispers seasons for preparation. That's what these days are. A divine invitation to root deeper, into truth, into stillness, into your real self. You may feel unseen right now, but can I tell you a sacred truth? God hides his chosen ones in the wilderness before revealing them on the mountaintop. Moses was in the desert. David was in the fields. Jesus was in the silence of 40 days. And perhaps you are in that same sacred waiting. But waiting is not wasting. Waiting is worship when you understand the weight of the moment. In my own life, I once spent an entire year in vow of silence. No words, just breath, just observation. And let me be honest with you. At first, I felt like I was losing myself. But by the end of that year, I found someone I'd never met before. My real self. The char. Part of me that wasn't shaped by the world, not the monk people admired, not the man with answers, just the soul. And in that stillness, I heard the divine more clearly than I ever had in my entire life. And it said, "Now you are ready to become what I whispered over you long ago." Chosen one, you are not becoming something new. You are remembering something eternal. That is what these days are about. So as the announcements unfold, not in headlines but in heart lines, you must return to what's essential. Your breath, your peace, your truth, your creator. Don't let your calling be stolen by comparison. Don't let your light be dimmed by distraction, and do not mistake delay for denial. Everything sacred takes time. The oak tree does not rush its growth. The stars do not race across the sky. And you are being guided by a timing greater than your understanding. So today, I offer you a practice, a sacred rhythm. Each morning when you rise, ask yourself, what is the divine inviting me to hear today? Not what should I do, but what should I hear? Because the next step on your path may not be about doing more, but becoming more aligned with the truth that's already within you. I promise you, when you align with divine rhythm, the right doors do not need to be forced. They open naturally, and when they do, you will know it was never about rushing. It was always about readying your soul. Let us pause now. Let this truth sink in. Feel the silence again. It's not empty. It's full of sacred instruction. You were not passed over. You were preserved, and these major days ahead, they are not coming to validate your worth. They are coming to mirror it. And now, the deeper part begins. Let us walk further. You are still here. That means something sacred is waking within you. Stay with me now, chosen one, because what I am about to share is not just wisdom, it is your reminder. There is a truth I have seen in every soul that walks the path of becoming, and it is this. Before the elevation, there is always the emptying, not as a punishment, but as a preparation. The greatest shifts I have ever seen in people's lives came right after they were emptied of everything they thought they had to be. Listen closely. The world teaches us to fill ourselves with labels, roles, achievements, status. But the divine teaches us to shed what is temporary so we can receive what is eternal, and that shedding, that's what you've been feeling. You're not breaking down, you're breaking open. You're being released from identities that no longer serve your purpose, from relationships that can't walk with you into your next chapter, from routines that keep you numb to your own calling. I once watched a young monk struggle in silence. He was strong, disciplined, focused, but you could see it. His eyes were tired of pretending. He meditated, but his heart was restless. One day he came to me, voice trembling, "Master, I feel like I am losing everything I built." And I said to him, "Good. That means your soul is finally being rebuilt, because God is not interested in what you've built around your pain. He is interested in what's underneath it. So if your world has been shaking, if you've been losing what you once thought you needed, celebrate that." Yes, I said celebrate, because you're being made empty enough to finally be filled. Chosen. 1. These days you've been called into, they require a lighter soul, a freer spirit, a heart that no longer hides behind its wounds, but leads with its healing. And hear me clearly. Healing is not becoming someone new. It is remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. Let that truth settle. So many people walk through life wearing invisible armor, fear of being judged, fear of being left behind, fear of failing. But what if I told you that every fear is just a doorway, and right now, God is asking you to walk through it, not to prove something to others, but to show your soul that you are no longer a prisoner to your past. There's a lesson I once learned while walking barefoot through the forest. I had been assigned silence and solitude for 3 weeks. No talking, no human contact, just nature and God. One morning, after a night of heavy rain, I slipped and fell on the wet path. My robe was soaked, my hand scraped. Frustration rose in me, anger even. But then, I looked around and saw that the rain had brought wildflowers to bloom right beside where I fell, and I heard the clearest voice within say, "Even your falls lead you to beauty." That moment changed me, because I realized it's not the storm that defines us. It's what we notice after the storm, the clarity, the wisdom, the resilience. So if you feel you've fallen, if you're sitting in the rain of uncertainty, in the mud of a messy past, look again. Your wildflowers are blooming. Nearby, the divine is not punishing you. He's positioning you right where you need to be, to receive what only this season can give. And remember this. The most important spiritual progress does not always look like victory. Sometimes it looks like letting go. Letting go of being right. Letting go of timelines. Letting go of who they wanted you to be. Because your soul was never created for a crowd. It was created for calling. Let me say this slowly, because someone watching needs it deeply. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where God has placed you, not to punish you, but to prepare you and those major days that are unfolding. They are not coming to you. They are coming through you. So, what should you do now? Return to the silence. Listen inward. Ask fewer questions about the future and more questions about alignment. Am I in rhythm with my soul? Am I letting go of what's no longer mine? Am I walking lightly enough to hear God's steps beside me? The path ahead will not require more effort. It will require more trust. And I promise you, the more you trust, the more you will begin to see. Signs, synchronicities, peace, Not because life becomes perfect, but because you are no longer at war with yourself. Chosen one, your time is sacred, your path is blessed, and the days ahead, they are glowing already with divine light. Let us walk a little further. We are almost to the heart of it now. We have walked far together now, not just in words, but in awareness. Each breath, each silence, each realization has taken you closer to your truth. You see, chosen one, the announcement over your life, it's not a public one. It's not meant for the world to hear first. It's whispered in private, heard by your soul before it is ever confirmed by circumstances. And perhaps you are in that sacred place right now where what you feel does not yet match what you see. I know that space. Many years ago, after decades in the monastery, I was told by a senior monk, "You are now ready to serve beyond these walls." Thought he was mistaken. I had no desire to teach beyond the quiet rhythm of our sacred order, but I listened. I obeyed. And do you know what happened? Everything became silent. No doors opened, no invitations came, only silence and waiting. At first, I doubted. I thought, why send me if nothing is unfolding? But one night, under a sky of 1,000 stars, I heard within me, the world may not be ready, but you must be. And in that moment, I understood. The calling is never validated by applause. It is proven by how we wait, how we prepare in the quiet. Chosen one, if you feel overlooked, forgotten, unrecognized, then take heart. That is the exact place God begins his greatest works. You are not being delayed. You are being deepened. So many people try to skip this part of the journey. They chase visibility without inner stability. But anything that grows faster than its roots eventually collapses. You are not meant to be a fleeting flame. You are being shaped into an eternal light. And here is something I have come to learn through years of solitude and service. Divine timing is not just about when it happens. It's about who you've become when it happens. These major days ahead, they don't just show up. They rise up through the version of you that has surrendered to transformation. So I ask you gently, are you willing to become who you need to be so that what's been announced over you can manifest through you? Let go of the urge to force outcomes. Let go of the pressure to perform. Let go of the timeline you made up in your mind. Instead, practice this. Breathe before reacting. Pray before planning. Trust before trying to fix. Because the miracle isn't just in what's coming, it's in who you are becoming while you wait. I remember a woman who came to me many years ago. She had lost everything: her home, her marriage, her confidence. She asked me through tears, "Why would God strip me of everything I loved?" And I said, "Because you are not what you've lost. You are what you are becoming." She didn't understand it then, but a year later, she wrote me a letter. "I met myself for the first time," she said. "I thought I was being buried, but I was being planted." Planted. That's what's happening now for you too, chosen one. God does not announce major days over a life that's not meant to grow through them. That's why you feel stretched. That's why old things are falling away. Because he is preparing you not for a blessing that fits who you were, but one that fits who you're becoming. So breathe deeper. Slow down. Listen more. Respond less, because every moment right now is sacred. Even the ordinary moments, the ones where nothing seems to be changing. Because in those moments, your roots are growing. You are becoming grounded, unshakable, prepared for the days that have already been written with your name on them. You are not here by accident. You are not watching this by coincidence. You are in divine alignment. You are the one who has been chosen to carry a light that doesn't just shine, but transforms the darkness. And the world? The world is not waiting for your perfection. It's waiting for your authenticity. So bring your full self. Bring your healed wounds. Bring your honest heart. Because that is what activates the divine days ahead. Not who you pretend to be, but who you truly are. We are almost there now. The next step is not just a continuation. it's a culmination. Let us walk into the heart of it together. Now we arrive here, not just to the end of this walk, but to the beginning of your unfolding. Chosen one, this part of your journey is not about understanding everything. It's about trusting what your spirit already knows. You have heard a whisper through this message, a calling that tugged at you, like a gentle wind reminding you, you were never forgotten. Let me tell you something few people realize. The greatest announcements from God do not come with thunder. They come in silence. They are not always marked by events, but by awakenings. You do not need a crowd to confirm your purpose. You do not need everyone to understand your journey. You only need one thing: stillness enough to recognize the voice within. Because that voice, it is God's echo living inside you. And the major days announced for you, they are not arriving like lightning bolts from the sky. They are emerging through the small sacred choices you make each day. Every time you choose peace over panic, you are stepping into it. Every time you choose to forgive instead of judge, you are stepping into it. Every time you sit with your pain instead of running from it, you are stepping into it. This is what people miss. The major days begin the moment you become major within. Let me say that again for your soul to absorb. The major days begin the moment you become major within. Not louder, not more successful, not more liked. Just more whole. And becoming whole means embracing all of you, the parts you show and the parts you still keep hidden. But I ask you this today. Are you willing to be seen? Fully. Honestly. Lovingly. By yourself? Because when you stop hiding from you stop hiding from the life that was always meant to find you. There's a story from long ago. A wise elder told it to me. A traveler came to a mountain shrine and asked the monk there, "Master, when will the divine call me into my purpose?" The monk smiled gently and said, "When you begin answering the small calls." The traveler was confused. What small calls? And the master whispered, "The call to rise early and pray, the call to forgive when your ego wants revenge, the call to walk slowly, to notice beauty, to bless others in secret, to sit in silence long enough to become known by the stillness." The traveler was silent, because in that moment, he realized that purpose isn't something you wait for. It's something you live into. And I share that with you now, because I see it in your eyes. You are ready to begin living into it. You no longer need to chase. You only need to align. Chosen one, alignment means your values match your actions. It means your peace is not up for sale. It means your truth is not diluted for approval. And here is the beautiful secret. When you begin walking in alignment, you no longer need to force open doors. They begin to open before you arrive. Because God has gone ahead of you. He has written divine appointments you haven't even imagined. He has orchestrated breakthroughs that do not require your hustle, only your faithfulness. But listen carefully. Your role is not to predict the path. Your role is to become the one who can walk it. So nourish your mind, protect your energy. Practice stillness. Speak truth. Move with grace. Let go with compassion. And love like your soul has already been healed. Because it has. Even if you're still catching up to that truth. It has. As we sit here now in this quiet moment, know this. Something sacred has been set into motion. The shift you felt, the signs you've seen, the strange silence that surrounded you. Lately, it was never a void. It was God's preparation room. Your assignment is clear now. Walk forward, be present, trust deeply, love fully, rise slowly, and never forget. You were chosen not because you were perfect, but because you were ready to remember. Now is the time. The world has been waiting for the real you. This page marks the end of our walk through preparation, but the final message, the sacred reveal, is yet to come. Ready for the final page? Just say, "Continue to final page." We will close this journey with a sacred invocation, a message, to seal your heart and spirit for what is about to unfold. And now, dear chosen one, We've arrived at the threshold, not of an ending, but a beginning that echoes through eternity. If your heart has felt stirred through these words, if your spirit has grown quieter, deeper, more awake, then the divine announcement over your life has already begun, not in the external noise of the world, but in the sacred stillness now growing within you. You see, God never just announces events, He announces becomings. He declares identity long before activity. He speaks to who you are before ever showing you what you'll do. And if you've ever wondered why you felt different, why you never fully fit in, why you were pulled away from the crowd, why the timing in your life has never looked like theirs, it's because you were never meant to. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are set apart. Chosen ones are rarely loud, rarely seen, rarely understood, until the moment comes, when what's been cultivated in secret must now emerge into the light. And that moment is near, but not for performance, not for fame, not for validation. You are being revealed, so that others might remember who they are through the truth of who you've become. Because this world doesn't just need more noise, it needs more light, more depth, more peace, more you. So what do you do now? You stand up slowly. You carry your calm like a lantern into every room. You walk with eyes that see deeper than appearances. You listen more than you speak. And when you do speak, you speak from truth, not from fear. You are not here to argue with the world. You are here to transform it, simply by walking in alignment with God's design for your life. No more proving, no more pleasing, no more pretending. You've outgrown those costumes. You've passed through the fire. You've listened, long enough in silence to finally recognize His voice over the noise. Now the path rises to meet you. Will there be challenges? Yes. But you will not face them alone. The same Spirit that whispered this calling into your soul will walk beside you step by sacred step. You are being moved into the very days God carved out for you before time began. So rise with dignity. Love with purity. Serve with humility, and lead with compassion. You were chosen not because you were the loudest, the strongest, or the most perfect. You were chosen because you answered. When the whisper came, you listened. When the silence stretched, you stayed. When the world looked away, you looked within. And now, He says, it is time. So go now, not in haste, but in harmony. Let these words not be something you remember, but something you live. For these are not just major days ahead, they are miraculous days. Heaven has set them apart for you. Walk into them. They belong to you. And may you always remember, you were never waiting on a sign. You were becoming one.